everybody and welcome to this episode of the Two Bartys. In this episode we're going to look at the new Audi E-Tron Sportback, described as the car that nobody has asked for. But before we talk about that in more detail, let's have a closer look with some pictures of the Audi E-Tron Sportback. So James, you've seen the pictures of the Audi E-Tron Sportback. What is your first impression of this car?
Well, it's very big. It is it looks very big.
It does. I can see what you're saying. With the pictures that we have, it's difficult to get it in proportion. It's going to be about 5 meters long. So it is quite an imposing vehicle. They already have the standard e-tron. The Sportback is a more stylish looking version, sort of a coupe SUV. So although looks better, you often lose a little bit of that practicality. So what about it then? What do you like?
I like the styling. I do quite like the bar at the back.
Yeah, and I think on electric cars it almost feels like part of the design of an electric car, that you have this line at the back. It's almost going back to, there was a film when I was young called Tron, and it's kind of neons or bits, almost to sort of say this is a futuristic vehicle. Talking about styling and details, what about the interior?
I do like the interior. Everything's well placed. It's in the place that I would like it to be.
Okay. And also talking about technology as well, something that this vehicle has, which I've not seen on a production vehicle before, are some digital cameras that show the rearward view on a screen within the door. Mm. So in the interior you have cameras outside pointing backwards. The wing mirrors are much smaller, which helps reduce drag, which means the vehicle's more efficient, but actually your view of the road behind you is actually inside the vehicle. I'm not sure how that will work in practice. It would certainly be an interesting thing to try. So they're loading it with technology, but so they should. The E-Tron Sportback is somewhere close to £80,000, James. Yeah, but that's almost £4,000 more than the standard e-tron, which is more practical. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for in this marketplace. It's all electric, so we know it won't have a high top speed, but it should have a good range and good acceleration. So what can you tell us about the performance figures on this one, James?
Well, it does almost just over 400 brake horsepower, 664 newton meters of torque, but going just back slightly to near £80,000.
Yeah.
Just going back to when we did the test on the Jaguar F-Type and the Porsche, yes.
The F-Type was £80,000.
The F-Type was £80,000. So, yes, it isn't an SUV, it hasn't got a big boot, but you get a 5-litre V8. Just saying.
Well, I guess from an environmental point of view, with 252 grams of CO2 per kilometre versus 0, you are paying for new technology as well. So I get your point. If you had £80,000, which one would you rather? And it would be a heart and a head decision. My heart would probably say, oh, well, I want the Jag, but my head would say, well, this is more environmentally friendly. To be honest, if I had £80,000, based on other vehicles in the full electric marketplace, I would probably buy a Mustang Mach-E for
Yeah.
just over 40, or even the first edition for sort of just under 60, and save myself 20 grand and have something that's got a larger range. Or I would look at something within the Tesla lineup, or actually just the standard E-Tron, or hold on and wait to see what other manufacturers are bringing out. £80,000 is a lot of money for this vehicle. Now, with all of those newton meters of torque, 664 newton meters of torque, and just over 400 brake horsepower, acceleration in these vehicles, it's going to be rapid. This one, for a vehicle that's got to be a couple of tons if it's a day, can get to 62 miles an hour in 5.7 seconds. So it's very, very rapid, which is kind of a characteristic of an electric vehicle. So the boot is slightly smaller as well, no grams of CO2, but with that pricing it won't attract the plug-in car grant anymore, because it goes outside of the banding. I think it's up to £40,000 that you get the grant, because they're trying to limit the amount of grant as well. That's the boring stuff, James. Do you know what? Looking at how it looks compared to the standard one, I would pay the extra and have the Sportback, because it is more stylish. But then I probably wouldn't put £80,000 into this particular Audi. It's a nice looking car, it's got some really cool technology, but I think there are better places to spend £80,000. What are your thoughts?
Totally agree.
Totally agree. Well, who would have thought that at the end of this episode we would totally agree? The Audi E-Tron Sportback, great looking vehicle, great technology, £80,000 feels steep, particularly when you can buy the standard one for about £4,000 less, and there are many, many competitors in this particular marketplace coming through right now. So I would hold off, keep hold of that £80,000, check out what else is happening in this marketplace before you take a punt. And there are plenty more vehicles coming between now and the beginning of 2021, and we'll hopefully bring you some of those as the future episodes progress. But for us, for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all really soon.